Have you ever noticed in the web of life how things from a variety of sources may converge to weave new insight as your life unfolds? This seems to be happening more and more to me. Maybe I'm just more open and therefore more aware. From a variety of directions, I am inspired to reflect on community. I've been asking folks, what do you miss during this time? And what do you not miss? Often the thoughts shared are about relationships and isolation and the need to be intentional about connecting. One book I'm reading is all about courage and compassion and connection. In Thomas Kelly's book, The Testament of Devotion, he writes about connection, but he calls it blessed community. And for him, it's more than fellowship. That's person to person. It's horizontal. The blessed community, says Kelly, springs forth from our relationship with God. It comes in the intersection of that vertical line with God, crossing with our horizontal connections. And that's the heart of the matter. Another study is based on this prayer: God, grant me the serenity to accept the things I cannot change, courage to change the things I can, and wisdom to know the difference. Kelly says in the blessed community, we can't create it deliberately. I can't change someone to be what I want or need. The other is simply to be received as a gift. And about blessed community, Kelly says we just find it. We find ourselves increasingly more in that blessed community as we put ourselves increasingly more in the presence of the living Christ. We're talking here about brief conversations that sometimes we have with another, and at the conclusion, you may have, for an unknown reason, felt as if you've discovered with the eyes of your heart a kindred spirit. It's so much about quality rather than quantity that even those special persons in your blessed community can be separated from you for years. And when you do reconnect, you pick up right where you were, right where you left off, never missing a beat. I had one of those surprise phone calls last week, and I know it was a blessing from the creative hand of God, maybe in spite of, or maybe because of, this pandemic. To have the eyes of our hearts opened is also to see myself as God sees me, simply worthy of love. Not perfect, yet beloved. And when belonging begins there, it's not about being alike. It's about being valued. Seeing with the heart moves me beyond judgment to gracious curiosity. Not about approval or agreement, but rather for appreciation and wonder. Tell me about you, and then I'll just listen. Kelly says it's possible to find persons with whom, well, there's a chilly theology and a glowing heart. And John Wesley would say something about meeting people with whom he disagreed, and yet their heart was where his was. And so he would say, give me your hand. Giving hands is limited today. And yet, in spite of, and maybe even because of this new normal, I believe we can find ways to give our hearts to each other. Maybe this is what is meant by having good people in your life that you respect, even if you don't agree. It doesn't happen if I'm trying to change the one who is different. And when I reflect on my own journey, I think I have been most blessed by people who, honoring who I am, have granted me the space and the grace to find the courage for me to change, often with God's leading. I know many of you are missing each other, and patiently you're finding new ways to connect with strong resolve to be safe and keep others safe. You're appreciating our wisdom in moving cautiously in the reopening process. And mostly what I'm hearing is that the tools of telephone and note cards and Zoom meetings are ways you can see with the eyes of your heart. What a gift it is to reflect on the precious people that are a part of your blessed community. Another thread in the web of wisdom about connectedness was a God wink, an accidental discovery of a prayer prayed by singer and musician Amy Grant. She prays it on a regular basis, and it's one I'm trying to practice. Lord, lead me today to the people I need and to those who need me, and let something I do have eternal significance. Amen.